Hi, Chef Emma here from Whistle Pig Korean to show you all how to make salmon bulgogi at home. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna start off with, we're gonna shred up some scallions here for the final garnish. I like to do this first because I soak the scallion threads in ice cold water. What that's gonna do is it's gonna cut down on the spiciness of the onion and just leave the pure scallion taste to it. So I have one of these scallion shredders that you can get at any Asian market. I'm pretty sure that they sell them for very cheap on Amazon. That, or you can do it the old school method of cut it and then you're just going to julienne it. But that does require a little bit more knife skills. So if you're looking for a quick, less scary method, just grab one of these scallion shredders. It is a game changer. Highly recommend these. Makes life way easier. So, the soaking the scallions in ice cold water, you can do this just as a tip with any onion. Especially, I like to do it if I'm gonna be putting raw onions on salads or anything like that, because it cuts out all the spiciness of the onions and just leaves the pure onion flavor. So really good if you're gonna be doing salads. So you have your shredded onions. You're gonna take some ice cold water here. Let them soak. It's also, sometimes scallions almost get a little slimy in a way, and that's all the cellulose being broken up after you cut them. So if you do this, it's gonna release all of that cellulose. You'll see it when we strain and rinse these at the end. There's gonna be almost like a green sliminess to it. And that's gonna get rid of it all. So you just have really nice, pure scallion flavor there. Next up, we're going to make our marinade for the salmon. So what I have here, bunch of fresh salmon, Alaska salmon there. We have 2 parts soy sauce, 1 part sake or any cooking wine. Soju also works really well if you have that. A little bit of sesame oil in there as well. And also 1 part sugar, some black pepper. Then we're gonna get our aromatics in here. So I have some garlic cloves. I'm gonna mince these up here. Okay, add in your garlic into there. Then we're going to peel some ginger. Easiest way to peel ginger is you just take a spoon and you just peel it. No need for a vegetable peeler. Vegetable peelers, if anything, you're just gonna lose some of the skin on one of your fingers if you do it that way. Metal spoon works perfect. And then you can either use, you can finely mince it yourself by hand or just get a ginger grater. Then depending on how gingery you like your food, go for it. With seafood, I do prefer a lot more ginger just because it's gonna give it that kind of almost citrusy vibe to it. And perfect thing is that these zesters, they leave all the fibers of the ginger, so you just get all of that really good ginger juice and the actual flesh of the ginger that you want. You don't really want all of that fibrous material because it's just not tasty. There's no real flavor to it. So, add that on in there. These things are also great if you are into fresh wasabi. You can even use it on garlic cloves as well. And now that we have our marinade here, combine it all together. The lovely thing about making a fish bulgogi is that it requires less marination. With meat, definitely you're gonna wanna let it sit overnight. Just since the meat is so heavy, it's gonna take a lot longer for all those flavors to meld. With fish, it's kind of the opposite. You just wanna almost, I guess, flash marinate it in a way, or it's just gonna get way too salty and sweet. So you're gonna add your fish in, make sure it gets a nice little toss there. So this one's perfect for kind of a last minute dinner. You didn't plan ahead. You did not marinate your meat the night before. This one, I would say don't let it marinate more than 30 minutes. I also enjoy salmon as a beginner fish to cook with, just because it has a nice meaty texture. It's not gonna fall apart, and it's fatty enough that you're gonna have a little bit more leeway with if you overcook it. It's not gonna be as severe as if you have a lean white fish. The fat in the salmon's gonna be really helpful for a beginner in order to not have dried out fish once you cook it. So I like to put it so that the skin is side up and the meat is in the marinade, and then we're just gonna set that aside for about 20 to 30 minutes to marinate. Okay, we're going to rinse off our scallions now. So they've been soaking in that ice cold water for a bit. Just going to drain them. Okay, and then I just kind of pick out the ice cubes if there's any left. Just put these aside as the topping for our salmon. Okay, put that aside for now. Next up, we are going to preheat our pan here to get our salmon going.
Why are you using that?
So over Thanksgiving, I somehow overused my oven and stove, and now it is broken. So I'm waiting for LG to contact me again to get it fixed. So LG, please call me back so I can get my stove and oven fixed. Apparently overdid it with cooking my Thanksgiving meal, and somehow burned out my 1.5-year-old oven and stove. Yeah. Luckily, I have access to a kitchen at work, about 10 minutes away, so not the end of it. And I also have this trusty little Korean camp stove here for barbecuing, which actually works out perfect since I'm making salmon barbecue. Okay, so we are going to add in some oil to our pan. Once again, you want a high smoking temp oil with this. So no coconut oil, no olive oil. It's just gonna start smoking and burning at too low of a temp to get a good sear on your salmon. Canola oil, soybean oil, vegetable oil, peanut oil, any of those will work perfectly. So, it is heated. So you want it on probably like a medium heat here. And okay, so we're gonna we wanna sear the bottom of the salmon. You get that crispy skin on the bottom here. No need to really move it at all. I would just let it go. And you can already see it's starting to cook around the edges. Depending on how well done you like your salmon, it's going to vary your cooking time here. Started cooking fish, so of course my little boy Bomber here wants to be my little test taster, right, baby? Good boy. He's a star. You ready to star? So give us a flip here.
What happened?
Got a little bit too smoky inside without my hood vent, so moving it outside. So we're just searing the salmon here. Also, if you wanted, you could grill the salmon as well. So my husband Ross is a pescatarian, which means, as my dad puts it, a picatarian. So he doesn't eat meat except for seafood. And then Ross was always very curious as to the bulgogi. So, of course, salmon bulgogi is a fairly popular dish. I made that for him, and now this is one of his favorite fish dishes that I make for him. So he gets all the flavors of the bulgogi, but within his dietary picatarian restrictions. Bulgogi technically means fire meat. So bul is fire and gogi is meat. So fire meat, barbecue. We do not serve this at Whistle Pig solely because I feel like it's irresponsible to sell fish that has to be flown in. Just seems not like a environmentally sustainable thing to do. That's why we serve meat, which is all of our meat is local, so it just makes more sense, even though meat is technically not great for the environment, but I feel like it's a little less of a carbon footprint than shipping fish all the way from Alaska or the Pacific or Atlantic, wherever it's coming from. So this is just something I do every once in a while for Ross. And now we're gonna go and garnish this up. Okay, so we have our salmon here, and we are going to top it off with our scallions. To just do a nice little bed of that on top. And then, of course, some sesame seeds. And then this dish is, if you do sambap, which is the Korean lettuce wraps, this is a really good non-meat option for that. Put it on a bed of rice. If you have some noodles, awesome. Or just eat it as is. Gonna get a little bit of that fish there. Some scallions. And give this a test taste.